let's go. Enough buffoonery.
Welcome to Brooklyn's Finest Entrepreneurs.
You already know what it is. I go by the
Podcast for
name of
future
DJ
business owners
Ish.
and entrepreneurs.
That was my old
I'm
life.
your host, Earle A. Conway.
This is my new
We
life.
discuss the details, trials, tribulations, mindset, and the journey it takes to you being your own boss.
For your dead
That's right.
Hey,
Look, I got dead presidents. Hey, blue honey, blue honey, blue honey.
blue honey, blue honey.
Yo, I sound like I got auto tunes on.
Blue honey,
Blue honey, blue honey. Oh.
blue honey.
Yeah, enough of the buffoonery, man. Welcome back to another episode number 5, man. We're gonna jump right into it, man. We talking about entrepreneurship as usual. You know what I'm saying? So choose entrepreneurship. Choose entrepreneurship every time. Choose entrepreneurship. So let's talk about what an entrepreneur is, right? An entrepreneur is a person who organizes a business or businesses, taking on greater, beyond, average. We're talking about taking on greater risk in order to be able to do so. So in order to be able to be an entrepreneur, you have to take on more risks to be an entrepreneur, right? Like it goes hand in hand. It's like something like gambling, right? But you don't want to just gamble and there isn't a large probability that you will win. You know, that's called hustling backwards, right? But if we're talking about entrepreneurship and owning your own business, right? The organizing and the taking the set of risk that comes along with it, with the optimism that you will succeed, yeah, that's the definition of an entrepreneur, right? So in order to be able to be an entrepreneur, just have to organize and take risk. Now, we do this every day, all day, right? Like, if you think about your day-to-day or in your regular life, you're organizing everything. Because if you did not have anything organized in your life, then your life would be chaotic, right? So you have to organize. If you have kids and they're in sports, you have to organize that, right? You have to organize at your job, right? You have to organize your family life. You have to organize your relationship. If you ain't got your relationship, organized, and not, in the way of it being like a task, but if you don't have it organized, if you don't set aside time, to make sure that QT is being spent and spent well, and there's new experiences, and there's love, and there's surprises, and there's compromise, if you don't have that, then you're not organized. And without organization, you pretty much have a failing relationship. To be an entrepreneur, you don't need any special degrees. You don't need certificates. You don't even need a diploma. Here's a boy that, I'm an entrepreneur and I didn't even have my GED. Later on I got it, just to say I got it, right? So nobody can't say nothing. But I was never getting it to be an entrepreneur, right? I have already had experience being an entrepreneur. I have already been in the circles of other entrepreneurs. I was already sucking up the game and watching how businessmen and businesswomen and owners and bosses work, talk, even eat way before I even had my GED, right? So it's not about what degree you have or what degree you think you need. It's not really about your education in terms of how we think or how much of the education we think we need to be an entrepreneur. Now, don't get me wrong. Having a degree, having some education, right, will definitely add value to your pursuit in your entrepreneurship, right? It will definitely add value to how you're able to conduct business, right? And most importantly, your education will add or come in the value of you knowing how to count your money, right? Because if you don't have enough education to count your money, then you just, we call that hustling backwards, pretty much, right? So if we don't need no degrees, then pretty much anybody could be an entrepreneur, right? Okay, so let's touch this part of it, because I know some of you is like, well, okay, we get it. We don't need education like that, right? Okay. But what about age, right? Age could be a determining factor, right? Like, you can't be an entrepreneur if you a kid. Okay, so let's explore that, right? Okay, so the original foundation and prerequisite of being an entrepreneur, right, is organization, being able to organize and taking a risk. Many of our kids may not be as organized as we would like them to be. I mean, you go into their room and, it's chaos, right? I mean, I'm different, right? I'm a real organized type of being. I've been that way, right? If you walked into my room as a little child, you would see that everything has a place. Everything is like perfect, right? Rarely it gets into chaos because I have to keep that type of open line of communication when it comes down to organizing and making sure that everything is in order, right? So I had that part down pat. The other part of it is taking risks. Now, early on, I can't even say I haven't taken risks early on. I was taking risks then too. But let's say, for example, that you say kids. Kids can't be entrepreneurs. I beg to differ. Not only can they be entrepreneurs, they can be the best type of entrepreneurs. Because here's a couple of things and attributes that our children have, right? First thing is that they can dream. You see, a lot of us adults, we've lost the impulse. We've lost the ability to dream because we've been bombarded with life and society and what we think is reality, that we're too scared to dream. Not a child, right? You ever notice you got to tell your child something once or tell them something 10,000 times? So that's how they're easier, or that's how it's easier for them to be entrepreneurs. Because a lot of the garbage that us as adults take in and keep within us, for a child, it goes in one ear and flies out the next. And you will have to tell them 20,000 times for them to actually get it or for it to stick. So they're perfect entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurship is not based on age. It's not based on whether or not you have some type of special degree, although any kind of special skills or degree, or if you was already in the industry and you know it, then that can add value to your journey. Absolutely. But you don't need it. Okay, so let's go into this. You ever notice a little child or maybe it's a sister, brother, or two sisters, or cousins. You're driving through your neighborhood, and all of a sudden you see a lemonade stand. They out here selling lemonade. Who's selling lemonade? You pull up to the lemonade stand, and all you see is like you're already melting, because, I mean, for some of us, we're not thinking about it from a business entrepreneurship. You know, it's like it's not coming from there. It's coming from, oh, look at them. They got a lemonade stand. So you pull up to this lemonade stand. Well, that child, those kids, they're entrepreneurs. They're entrepreneurs at its finest. They realized it was a problem, right? And that's all entrepreneurship is, right? It's about solving problems. If you have the time, the world will never, ever, ever run out of problems. If you have the time to slow things down, if you have the time to just get you some alone time and just think, right, without being on go mode, or worse, because most of us are just being pulled. We're not on go, we're being pulled. So if you can find time to not be pulled, to be unplugged from being pulled and being in go mode, then you can think about how you can affect this world. You can think about all of the problems that need to be solved. So our children, their antennas are up for this, right? So these kids that have this lemonade stand, they realized it was a problem. The problem is, it's hot as hell outside. You know what I mean? It's at least like 90. You know, anything above 90. Matter of fact, anything over 85 call for lemonade. You know what I'm saying? I mean, when they get into, 95, 98, 100, you're going to need water, right? But we talking about, regular average summer temperatures, right? So these children, these kids, figure out it was a problem. It's hot as hell outside, right? They know we out here thirsty, right? And yeah, we drink water, and we supposed to drink water. But here's the thing. Who wants to drink water? I try to get my water in when I'm working out. And that's early in the morning, right? And I drink enough. Maybe I should be drinking some more during the day, but I still get it in, right? Because I don't want to keep drinking water. I want to get like some juice or something, And if I had to choose between juice and homemade lemonade, I'm going with the homemade lemonade every time, right? So these kids figured out there's a problem. Okay, so they set up shop. The solution is to quench our thirst. So the problem is that it's hot and everybody's thirsty and they driving in a car, So if you put a lemonade stand right in the middle between 7-Eleven or the gas station, because you got to come out of your community to get on the main road to get to a 7-Eleven, right? Or to get to the gas station, or to get to the corner store, or whatever it is, right? And they have this lemonade stand set up right here. So that's double enticing, right? You ain't got to go that far. You could pull over right now, quench your thirst, you know what I'm saying? And when you get to the gas station, you may or may not need something else. But if you could take care of that immediate need right now, if you could have that problem of you being thirsty addressed right now before you even come out of your neighborhood or your subdivision, right? You pulling over. So these kids have already found a solution The problem is we're thirsty and we can't wait to get to 7-Eleven. So they set up this lemonade stand. Startup cost. Let's talk about startup costs, right? Startup costs. Woo, it's low. Startup costs. Let's say we're going to need, we're definitely going to need lemon, right? Can't have lemonade without no lemons, right? I mean, that's a no-brainer, right? So this is product, right? This is what you as an entrepreneur is selling, right? So these kids gonna definitely need some lemons. Okay, let's say how much lemons going for nowadays? Let's say 50 cent. 50 cent. 50 cent. Why am I saying 50 cent like 50 Cent the rapper? 50 cents. It still sounds like the rapper. 50 cents. 50 cents, right? Let's say for their first order of production, or like, let's say you have a business. So for your first batch, you know, your first bulk order, right? Let's say these children buy 20 lemons, right? 50 cent. I'm saying it again. Don't judge me. You know what I'm saying? It's just the hip hop in me. Please don't judge me. 50 cents times what? 20? That's about $10. $10 on lemon. They're definitely going to need a pitcher or two. But they might have that in the house. They might have both in the house. But let's say you don't. If you don't have that, then you could go to the 99-cent store or Family Dollar. So you have the pitchers, right? You're going to need ice, right? Ice is about $1.75 a bag. I mean, we in New York. Ice is, you know, ice. Listen, if you get enough bags for your barbecue, like you could hurt the pockets. You know what I'm saying? Getting bags of ice at $1.75. Yeah. So you're definitely gonna need ice, right? And can't forget about cups, right? So let's say we get about 3 to 5 bags of ice, right? And then the cups, we can go to, we can go to the supermarket, or we can go to the 99-cent store, while we picking up the pitchers if we don't have them, and get some cups. Let's say 100 cups for about $5.99. So now total startup costs, right? Total startup costs. We're talking about $35 each-ish. No pun intended. Let's say 30, right? Nice even number. So $30 startup costs, right? You got your lemons, you got your pitchers, you have your ice, and you have your cups. So these kids already started. He or she already know they market. They know that there's within 5 to 10 blocks, there's no other lemonade stand out. They know, matter of fact, it might be within the next, within 2 or 3 miles. There's not another lemonade stand. And even if there are, it's okay. I guarantee you, I'll be thirsty within 2 or 3 miles, right? So they know they market, right? It's a Saturday, right? Or even a Sunday, because they're working both days. Let's say they work from 12 noon, because 12 noon is prime time, because that's when the sun be beaming, right? 12 noon, it's hot. It's like lemonade call check at 12 noon, right? Now they're going to need some signs. So signs is going to cost nothing. You get cardboard, right? There's a lot of boxes floating around here. All the boxes that we be throwing out for recycling, there's boxes, right? all these Amazon packages is being delivered. You know, there's boxes, right? Crayons, markers, they already have that because they're in school. So this is part of their marketing plan, by the way, right? So they write out lemonade for sale or go directly to the problem. I would write thirsty and drag out the end of the word. T, right? Drag that out. Thirsty with a question mark. You're asking a question. When you ask questions, you have to get a response. It automatically, like you're driving by and you see a sign. It's colorful because they're using colorful markers. And it says thirsty with a question mark. Automatically, you like, yes. And then they have come and get your nice cold cup or glass. Because I would be a little bit sophisticated with it, right? I would say glass because, you know, these grown folks know about glass. You know what I'm saying? They don't know about the cups, right? They you know, the cups ain't going to resonate with them how a glass would resonate, right? So you say, come and get your ice cold glass of lemonade. So that's what these kids doing, right? They say, come get your glass, your ice cold glass of lemonade. And they have arrows. And they may draw some hearts on there, you know, make it real colorful, real nice. And you're looking at the sign and you're like, oh, that's so sweet, right? Now, they're smart enough. Because if I was mom and dad back in this entrepreneur, this young entrepreneur, and their business journey, their lemonade stand business, I would be like, you know what? Let's take something that's proven to work, and this is the example of what's proven to work. When I was a realtor, right, and I know you guys have seen this, when there's open houses, mostly on Sundays, right, you know, majority of them, right, a good handful of them, on Sundays, open house, that realtor has their signs, and it's posted on different corners, leading or starting from the busy intersection. And that one sign would say open house, you know, you will have your picture up there and your name and number, and it will point you to the end of the block. When you get to the end of the block, there's another sign there that points you in another direction. And then you have another sign, depending on how far you are away from that intersection, that just pretty much leads you to that open house. So as a parent of this young, brilliant entrepreneur, I would implement that system. 2 signs, 3 signs, right? Depending on how far, right? And direct that traffic. Direct those thirsty people that's in the hot blazing sun. And I don't care if you under your air conditioner in your car. You know, AC be drying your throat out. You know what I'm saying? So they follow the sign and they come up to your lemonade stand. Well, not your lemonade stand, but your kid's lemonade stand. The young entrepreneurs, right? That their dreams and their entrepreneur spirit is not bounded by their age. It's not bounded by their education. So you're pulling up and you're getting closer to this lemonade stand. And you see these excited kids just welcome you in, lemonade, 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 pull over, pull over, pull over, pull over, come get some lemonade. Come. And you're looking, you're like, yes, I've arrived at the lemonade stand. Oh, this is where all these cute little signs was pointing me to. And as soon as you pull up, you're already smiling. You know, for most of us, we're not really looking at this like, you know, I mean, unless we're entrepreneurs ourselves and business owners, you know, we're going to be excited in a different type of way because we're going to see the entrepreneur spirit, right? Within these young adults, these kids, right? But as a regular passerby, You're just excited to see young kids doing something positive, and you buy into it. So it strokes an emotion, right? So that's what these kids are doing. That's what this lemonade stand is doing. And you know what? I'm not even going to call it a lemonade stand anymore. I'm going to call it a lemonade business. So that's what this lemonade business is doing. That's what these young entrepreneurs is doing. They're stroking up an emotion in you. So you pull up and you all emotional because you see these kids doing something nice. Oh, look at them. They got their lemonade stand. I'm going to go blow a bag on them. You know what I'm saying? I got to support the little kiddies. I'm going to blow a bag on them, right? So you pull over, and usually, you know, we're not riding by ourselves. We at least have another passenger. We at least have another passenger in the car or two, right? So we all pull over, and, you know, my grandmother always told me, she always used to say this, right? If you're going to buy for one, you better buy for all of them, right? So you get out of the car, you got your two passengers. You can't just buy lemonade for you. You got to buy lemonade for everybody. So now at this point, you don't even know the price, you know? And at this point, it don't even matter because you're so emotionally driven that the price don't even matter, right? Y'all hop out, y'all start to approach the lemonade business. And before you could even step foot on the sidewalk, you're greeted with smiles. You can see it from the time you even get out the car. When you pulled over, they're smiling at you. So you're returning that smile. It's automatic. You ever notice when you're walking down the street and somebody smiles at you, it's contagious? You just have to smile back. So that's the same effect. When you get out of the car, you and your passengers, you're greeted automatically from across the street with smiles. It's welcoming. As you get closer, the smiles get bigger. It warms your heart. You get up to them, and they're so excited, so it causes excitement in you. They're jumping around. They have a lot of energy. So the same thing is being pulled out of you. Excitement and energy. Enthusiasm. The cute little girl come and she said, would you like a glass of lemonade? They are still selling the glass concept, but they got cups. Remember we went to the 99-cent store, the supermarket, and we got cups? Well, we're still pushing the glass. You know, we're still pushing the glass. Would you like a glass of lemonade? So you're like, yes, I have 3. So lemonade is $1 a piece, right? So they're pouring the ice. They're putting the ice in the cup, and they're pouring the lemonade, and you're standing there. Everybody's still smiling, and the enthusiasm is in the air. The support is in the air. These young entrepreneurs, you know, these young business owners, right? And all you want to do is support. Outside of them selling you the lemonade, they have some napkins on the table. And right next to the napkins, well, I don't know if they would do it like that. Let me fall back. You know, now it's getting personal because I would have a tip cup, right? I would have a tip cup. I would have a big red tip cup, and I would write on it tip, right? Matter of fact, I'll probably put tip all over it, right? And I will put it right next to the napkins. I wouldn't physically hand them the napkins, but that cup is going to get real sweaty and wet because of the ice, right? So they're going to need napkins. When people see napkins, they grab napkins. So that big red cup that says tip would be sitting right next to the napkins. And I will have a few dollars in there to encourage them, right? That people out here tipping for this lemonade. So I'm making sales on the product, solving the problem of these thirsty grown-ups over here driving around this hot sun. And when I give them their change, or while I'm giving them their change, they realize they need napkins. So they pick up the napkins, and at the same time, when they have the napkins in their hands, I'm giving them back their change. And the tip cup is just drawing attention. It's already registered to them that there's a tip cup there. So once I see that they notice the tip cup is there, I'm in transition of giving them that change. And what's a few dollars in change? I bought 3 lemonades, $1 a piece. If you use a $5 bill, right? You're getting back $2. What you gonna do with $2? If you use a $10 bill, most adults is not gonna pull up on you with a $20 bill to buy lemonade. They know you don't have no change. If it's a $10 bill, right? Now you got some bread you getting back. They might not give you that $5 back, right? They might keep the $5, but they're gonna give you that $2 tip. So you do this for 5 hours. You do it on Saturday. You do it on Sunday. And it sounds like I'm telling you to start a lemonade business, right? What I'm talking about is these young entrepreneurs and their lemonade business. 5 hours from 12 to 5 p.m. Saturday and Sunday. Startup cost was only $30. Let's say they made about $60 that day. They made $60 on Saturday. They made $60 on Sunday. That's $120 for the weekend. Startup cost was only $30. So they doubled their money. They have already recouped their investment to be able to do it the next weekend and the following weekend. Rinse and repeat. No special skills, no degree. Age is not a factor. Just an entrepreneurship spirit. Finding a problem and solving it. The problem was we was out here thirsty. The solution, the lemonade business that's sitting in the corner before we get out of our subdivision, before we leave our neighborhood, before we can get to the 7-Eleven or the gas station or the corner store. Now, I know what you're thinking, right? You're probably thinking like, yeah, that's cute. That's a nice little lemonade, story, and you know what I'm saying? But business, like that doesn't equate to business. Don't get me wrong. Business is extremely hard. But it's the same blueprint. The same approaches that these children took to start their business, to think about what their competitors or who their competitors were. Because mind you, I'm sure if there was a lemonade stand across the street, they would not have did it that weekend. Or maybe they would have, loaded up mom minivan and moved to another couple of blocks, right? So these young entrepreneurs is going through the process. They're organizing. They're taking risks to be able to do so, to follow their entrepreneurship spirit. But business is hard. It's the hardest thing you could, business is hard, right? I'm not going to fool you. You know how many times, me personally, my business journey has not been easy, right? It's always been a cross between working, right? Just to survive for today and pursuing my dreams to be able to survive forever. And not just survive. You got to take survive out of the equation when we're talking about entrepreneurship, business owner, and following your dreams. The Bureau of Labor have they've calculated all types of businesses and they have all this data. So what they're saying is that in the spirit of business being hard, what they're saying is that 20% of businesses, startup businesses, small businesses, fail within the first year. 20%. Okay. I mean, that's not bad out of 100, right? That's 20%. But the key is the first year. Within the 5th year of being in business, or before the 5th year of being in business, 50% of businesses fail. Whoa. That's a different type of number. So it's hard. And the more years you have leading up to that 5th year, it gets extremely hard. And if you're not able to adjust, if you're not able to ride through that storm, that data, then before 5 years, half of us is not even going to make it. Half of our businesses is going to fail. Here's the takeaway. Failure is not the end of the world, right? Why is it that we fear failure? That's crazy. Not the fact that we fear failure, but when you put fear and failure in the same sentence, that's crazy. But we do this. We don't understand that it's part of the process. Without failure, there is no process. Without no process, there is no achievements. There is no you reaching any goals without falling on your ass a couple of times or having to start over a couple of times. So if your entire life been a bulk of trial and error and falling down and getting back up and setting a better sail, and that's just a cycle, and it's painful, nobody wants to start over. Nobody wants to face fear or address failure. Everybody just want to win, 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 win. If you haven't gotten to a point in your life where you realize this cycle and embrace it and see what can you pull out of your failures, what can you pull out from what you've done wrong, if you're not looking for the lessons within it, it would always be crippling to you. It would always deter you. It would always give you excuses. It would always end up in the burial ground with all the other dreams and what ifs. So there's a process. And within that process, there's failure. So yes, business is hard. And there will be failures. There will be setbacks. But at the same token, there'll be little increments of successes. And you got to pay attention to those. You have to give those more credit. You have to lean more into those. Because in leaning into those more and recognizing them, you're able to build the strength to deflect the failures that come along with your success, with you following your dreams. So you won't be a part of this data. You won't be the 20% within a year. You won't even be the 50% within the 5 years. Right? So we got to embrace it. It allows us to be able to be better. Look at your life. Your life got a bunch of failures in it. You know, a bunch of false starts. You know, yeah, you've been down before. We all have, right? But it's what we do with that, right? It's how we take that and embody that and to be able to move and to still go through that process. Because at the end of those processes, because they come in different forms and different aspects of our lives, there's the pot of gold, right? There's the achievement. There's the I can change the financial trajectory of my family. I can change the financial trajectory of my generation and generations to come. But you have to go through that process, and failure is a part of that process. Entrepreneurship gives us freedom. It's worth fighting for. It's worth failing over and over and over again. Because on the other end of that, it offers us freedom. It offers us time, which we don't even know how much of it we have. So why give it to somebody else when you can give it to yourself? If you was to give all the time that you're putting in to building somebody else's business for exchange of a security paycheck at the end of the week, you're hustling backwards. You don't know how much time you have. Could you imagine the time and effort that you're giving to someone else if you were to give yourself that same time and effort and dedication and discipline? You'll be surprised how soon, how fast, how fearless you'll be. You'll be surprised how quickly you're able to achieve the things that you set out to achieve. Entrepreneurship or any other goals that you may have in life. Entrepreneurship offers infinity, right? This is what I mean by, like, okay, let me put it like this. Entrepreneurship offers you no cap, right? No cap, right? When you're working for someone, they dictate what your salary is going to be. Yeah, you might have some special type of degrees and this, that, and the third, and the market might say that your degree with your experience is worth this $60,000, $70,000 a year, right? And that's cool. You know, I guess that's cool for an average life, right? You know, just living, right? But entrepreneurship offers a different type of thing. Right? There is no cap, right? You dictate what your salary is going to be. Entrepreneurship offers you control. The control to set whatever amount of money you want to make. Now, don't get me wrong, it comes with a cost. So what cost are you willing to pay, right, to be financially free? I was having a discussion, not to jump off the topic of the lemonade business, but it all ties into everything that I'm saying now. And, you know, we think that we need a lot of money to be financially free. And maybe this is a topic for another podcast, but we don't. We don't. To be in the 1%, and I'm going to leave it at this. To be in the 1%. Now, the 1% is the 1% that controls 99% of the money that's being floated around here. Right? The 1%. All you have to do is make about $400,000, $500,000 a year. Wouldn't your life change dramatically, bringing in $400,000 to $500,000 a year you'll be able to, you know, you'll be able to do some things. Right? So how close are you to 400 or 500? Right? And if you're not anywhere close to that, right? Then join me. Join this movement of young entrepreneurs that wants freedom, that wants control, that refuse to have their salary capped or dictated. Join the young entrepreneurs that set up that lemonade stand, that was able to just have a vision, dream, and set up shop. Right? Let's go that way. Because I promise you, what you'll get on the other end of that, on the other side of that, will not only change your life, but it will change everyone's lives around you. Choose entrepreneurship. Till next time. Welcome to Brooklyn's Finest Entrepreneurs, the podcast for future business owners and entrepreneurs. I'm your host, Earle A. Conway, where we discuss the details, trials, tribulations, mindset, and the journey it takes to you being your own boss.
For your dead friends, hey, look, I got dead presidents, hey, blue honey, 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 blue honey.
Makeup. You know what I'm saying? Gotta make sure the boy got makeup. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I'm a star now. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make sure, you know what I'm saying? I got a whole makeup crew. You know what I'm saying? Like they come in, you know what I'm saying? Make sure a nigga looking good, you know what I'm saying? Make sure they ain't got no boogers, you know what I mean? It is just, you know, we just doing it, you know? I'm just saying, I don't care, you know? That's just what we doing, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, y'all get to see all the buffoonery that be happening behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying? Makeup, you know what I'm saying? I'm a star now, you know what I'm saying? I got makeup, you know what I mean? Wardrobe, you know what I mean? They got like 2 racks over there. I just pull up. And, I choose my style. They already got my size and my fit, right? I choose, you know what I'm saying? If I'm feeling like this, depending on how I'm feeling, I choose the outfit, you know what I'm saying? And then makeup come in, right? Like, I ain't getting no full, newscaster type of makeup, you know what I'm saying? I'm just getting a little dab here, you know what I'm saying? Make sure the skin tone is everything lighting. I got a crew for lighting alone. Just lighting. Like, who does that? Like, you gotta be real big. You gotta be like Kevin Hart big. You know what I'm saying? Well, not Kevin Hart big. I'm like more like Chris Rock big right now. You know what I'm saying? In his prime, right? No disrespect. Right? But that's where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? But when I get to that Kevin Hart stage, when I get over there where it's makeup, lighting, and fire, I'm gonna have fire back here. You know what I'm saying? Just shooting out. Man. All right, let's go, man. Let's go.
Dead friends, hey, look, I got dead presidents, hey, look, for your dead friends, hey, look, I got dead presidents, hey.
Till next time, change your mindset, change your reality. Brooklyn Finest Entrepreneurs.
Blue honey, blue honey, blue honey, blue honey.